What is up, Sabronis and my friends of the CamDog? It is a beautiful time of the year. Scott, what time is it?
9:12 p.m.
No, but you're supposed to do your CBS.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, you get to hear that sound. You hear that sound, and it is a glorious time of the year. It is a glorious, glorious time of the year. This is time of the year that people dream about right here. And here we are, the Monday after Selection Sunday, getting ready to break down March Madness with you beautiful people. I'm not giving like major predictions. Like I'm not spoiling my bracket. Okay, but I'm ready to talk some bracketology, which, by the way, you still got to enter. You got to get your three, and you got to get your wife and your daughter.
I got my 3 brackets right here ready to put in.
He's going to mail those. He's going to mail those to me and expect me to be part of the tournament.
Will you take a check, young man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old like
anyway.
that. No, I still got to fill it out.
So, the bracket challenge is up. It is on. This TikTok is going to get posted. If you are the age of 18 or older and you are not a former student of Marion Harding High School, because ethicals, dilemmas, and ethics and all that stuff, if you're 18 years old and you are a graduate of another high school, and I know you, feel free to get a hold of me, get the code for the link, Venmo me your $5, Apple Pay me your $5, Zelle me your $5, write a check, deliver cash. Shoot, I might even have PayPal. The only thing I don't have is Cash App. You know why I don't have Cash App? Because I'm not 15 years old. All right?
I have Cash App.
Yeah, well, 15 and people like you. So, basically, any way you give me your money, I will happily take it. Winner take all. The goal is 1,000. A little light so far through Monday, but people they like Tuesday night, Wednesday night. They like to really hit it hard, and then Thursday I'll get a mass exodus. So, or a mass influx of them. So,
and don't be that doucher that puts brackets in but doesn't pay. Because that stuff I know annoys you, and I always hated that too when I ran stuff like this.
Yeah, you get booted. My especially people that I don't know. If I don't know you, it's so hard to hey, do you know this person? Did you add this person? They haven't paid me. If I don't have your money by the time Thursday hits noon, you're getting booted. If you're somebody I know, I can get my money. Where's my money, man? Where's my money?
Otherwise, you will be eliminated.
Yeah. And I'll take your picks, too. Anyway, let's talk March Madness. When the brackets came out yesterday, the first thing that I thought about was Duke, being the number 1 overall seed, got screwed. I mean, Duke just got... They gave Duke just the hardest path. I also think St. John's got screwed. And don't get me wrong, obviously Ohio State's playing really, really well right now. TCU's playing really well right now. Even if Duke takes care of us or TCU, you got St. John's. Which St. John's, the fact that you just won a Big East championship, you dominated UConn, and you get rewarded with a 5th seed in Duke's region. Not only that, you're in New York and you got to fly all the way down to San Diego. Michigan State, UConn, both those in that region. I mean, they absolutely handed it to Duke.
But here's the thing, though. Let's just be honest. This isn't 2002 Big East, okay? So it's not like, oh my, they are so fantastic. Now, St. John's, I think, is a good program. Obviously, Pitino's a great coach. And I think they're going to be ready to go. But, I mean, it's no different than Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas only got a 4 seed, and they won the SEC, you know? So it's like, it's one of those weird things where, the end-of-season tournaments matter, but they don't. It's very strange. You know, it's a peculiar thing. Can we talk about TCU real quick?
They want it to matter when it matters for their
sure,
for their agenda.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I think Arkansas got screwed. Like Arkansas only being a 4 when you go and win the SEC, which best conference in basketball, right? Best conference in football, right? And you go out and you can win that tournament. I'm just saying.
Are you an Alabama fan? What's going on here?
I'm just saying what they say. I agree that the Big East can be down, but you can't watch St. John's basketball and think that they're a 5 seed. You can't watch that and think that they're a 5 seed.
Well, Johnny Reb out there, he's my guy. I'm going to go home and make out with my sister.
Rick Pitino's the head coach of St. John's. I'm rolling with Rick Pitino All right, like I'm very, 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 very high on Duke. And if Duke were to get upset, I don't think it's by the Buckeyes. I think it's by St. John. Like Rick Pitino is a great coach for a reason, and he's got them there for a reason. And they go and they whoop UConn on Saturday night for a reason.
I've seen St. John play a couple times. I think they're good. I don't think they're Duke good.
I think they're peaking right now.
They are, but I don't think they have. Boozer's good, but when he goes off, he's the best player in the nation.
Agreed.
And so I don't think St. John has the ability to match up with that. And I think that's going to be the thing that dooms them if that comes down to it. UConn, I think UConn's a Trojan horse, man. I'm a big Hurley fan. I know my dad hates that about me, and he's probably writing me out of the will as a result. But I'm a big Hurley fan, and I agree. UConn and Duke, eventually they have to meet. That's a... I thought you were giving me the Erica Kirk. Stop.
The family friendly shit. I'm Dan Hurley.
But Dan Hurley. I just bumped him. All I did was bump him.
He's the angriest guy in basketball right now.
Dude, I'm a Hurley, but in all fairness, I like Bobby Knight. So, here's the thing, though. You're right. Of the 1-2 matchups, that one is the most daunting. Florida Houston's another hard one. But man, that Duke UConn, they're a Trojan horse. If UConn beats Duke, they're going to win the whole thing. They're just because that's how they are. They have a history of that. Yeah. Sorry, and you know what? The UConn women are really, really good too. I mean, by far and away the big favorite. Yeah. By and far and away the best. South Carolina's not as good. Iowa's not as good. So
Gino's insane, man. The number of rings he's got. Michigan got absolutely handed the easiest pathway I might have ever seen. Like they said, Michigan, here is a pathway right to the Final Four. I mean, you don't have to play anybody in front of you. Oh, and we know that you just lost in your Big Ten championship game. Again, it only matters to us when it wants to matter. Here's you lost, and here's the easiest pathway ever. Hey, you'll have Bama in the Sweet 16 without their second best player. No, their second best player just got arrested on a felony drug charges today. Did you see that?
No, but they still have a very potent, high-powered offense.
I'll say potent.
And here's the thing. Michigan, I don't want to say Michigan's floundering, but people are starting to figure them out. And so they've had some really tough, close games here the last few weeks. They are not as dominant as they were a month ago. So the problem is, the second round matchup, Georgia, St. Louis, they just don't have the firepower. But the Alabama game, that one makes me a little nervous. Now, once you get past that, you're dealing with, an Iowa State team I don't think is going to match up well. But Michigan does have, I think, probably the easiest path to Final Four of the number ones. But that Alabama offense, man, they're a great offense.
These last 2 weeks, I'm an expert now because of my last 2 weeks of watching the sport, obviously, right? And Michigan is just not they are not as good as what they have been all season, and with the metrics and all the stuff that backs them up. I think that I'm not saying Ohio State got screwed against them Friday by any means. I think that it was very ticky-tack and called against Ohio State and not called on Michigan. What the big guy for Michigan in the middle? He was able to push off as much as he wants on anything, but the moment that he got touched, they want to be ticky tack with it. I just don't think it's not. There was nothing egregious. Ohio State didn't get screwed. They had opportunities to win it, and they just couldn't. They couldn't do it. But I also just don't think it was. I don't think it was fairly called. Then they go struggle with Wisconsin, have to have a big buzzer beater to win it all, and then Purdue, is able to knock them out. And I just. The inconsistency with them, whereas Ohio State, I know they lost their last game going to it, but it's such a high. It's just you're riding such a heater right now. Duke is won 12 games in a row. St. John's is riding so hot right now. There's teams like I know Miami, Ohio just lost, but like to win 31 in a row, like there's momentum on a lot of those team sides. Whereas Iowa State's on the other hand, like they've lost 5 of their last 10 games of the season. Them they just don't feel complete. And Michigan just feels like that. There's nothing about them that feels like. But other than the fact that they're Michigan, they have a great record this year, and they have all season long been one of the best teams, and that's why people are going to
They have not adjusted well to the loss of their sixth man, and ever since that's happened, they've had a little bit of a bump in the road. However, if they were to adjust, they've got 2 games to adjust until they're actually until they're actually tested. Now, don't get me wrong, the St. Louis team, they've got some good shooters and they can score too. But it's just they have not played the firepower that Michigan brings, the athleticism. And, it's one of those things where last year, all the, 1 seeds, I wasn't surprised when they all made it. This year, I think there will be some upsets, but I think the number ones are still the number ones for a reason. However, for me, I agree that Michigan has a pretty easy path. Another one I think is kind of tricky, honestly, is Florida. And here's the thing. I think Florida, Iowa can play really, really well. They have good shooters. And if they get past Clemson, and if Florida plays Iowa, I think there's some potential matchups that's going to draw Florida's bigs out of their comfort zone. And I would not be surprised if Iowa beats Clemson and then turns around and beats Florida. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But if there's a number one to fall first, it could be the Florida-Iowa game, as crazy as that sounds. But the Iowa team, they've got some shooters, and it would make the bigs for Florida very uncomfortable. So, yep.
They're all about the highs and lows of basketball.
Correct. And if we're going to talk about highs and lows, you want to talk about TCU?
Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Dude, okay, so I've watched TCU a couple times this season, and they are and I've seen them play great, and then I'll turn around and it looks like they laid a big, fat, flat, brown turd on the ground. And it's like, what have they done? So, yeah, we're all about the turds. So I looked up their schedule. I pulled their schedule. What? Did you know that they only lost to Michigan by 4?
I did know that.
They beat Florida. They beat Wisconsin. A good comparative game is Ohio State did beat Notre Dame. I went to that game. I went with Dad. And they did lose to Notre Dame. So that's good for us. You would think, that's a good comparative thing, But here's the problem. They've lost to some turd nuggets, too. They got beat at Colorado. Granted, they had some players out at Colorado, and they just got throttled. But they turn around, they beat Iowa State. They beat West Virginia. They beat Texas Tech. I mean, they've had some good wins. But they've had some losses that were just like, Utah? How are you losing to Utah? Like, what are you doing? And by the way, UCF, which is a tournament team, they lost to them. So there's some things where I see some highs, I see some lows. I saw them when they played Kansas tough, but they lost both times. It's going to depend on which team shows up, and honestly, it's the same with Ohio State. They have highs and lows too. Right now, they're on a high.
I was supposed to say they are Big 12 Ohio State. And just comparing schedules and the wins and losses, they're Big 12 Ohio State. And this is one of those ones where it's like, man, I could see Ohio State winning it and going and playing Duke tough. I could see TCU being the Buckeyes game 1 on Thursday.
Correct. And here's the thing, though. If Ohio State beats TCU, they'd play Duke. Well, Duke just had a tooth and nail game with Virginia, and Ohio State should have beat Virginia. Mm-hmm. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that could be a competitive game for the most part. I think Duke wins 9 out of 10 times. You know what I mean? But
Buckeyes only beat Duke when it's in Columbus.
That's all. That was a beautiful. Hey, okay, my buddy Matt Hancock. He's a big Duke fan. He actually
don't use that language around here.
He has a love child with Mike Krzyzewski. Or Mike Krzyzewski when he talks about basketball. He's like a real life Muppet. Anyways, so he loves Duke, and he's like, man, Duke's gonna kill Ohio State. And yeah, I watched that game with him. And he was so mad. It was a beautiful moment for me. It was beautiful.
Hey, I have two things.
Toilet.
Yeah. Stop. I have two things for you before I get into my next question for you. I have two facts for you. One is going to be a little shocking to you. One maybe not so much. Speaking of Coach K, and obviously like guys that replace the legend, it's a really hard thing to do, right? Like think about Kalen DeBoer, Alabama right now. Like he's struggling, and it's not like they're a dog awful team. They're just not to what Nick Saban had them, right?
Not so the same discipline.
John Shire, since he's taken over for Coach K, round of 32, Elite Eight, Final Four. I mean, this is year 4, and I expect a deep tournament run from. What a way to like take the mantle and keep it going. BYU has never made a Final Four. They are in a portion where them and Arizona, like I mean, they could get past Texas, North Carolina State. They could get past Gonzaga, probably Purdue. You go play Arizona tough. BYU has a chance to get the Final Four for the first time in school history. Be tough. But there's a pathway there. So kind of what's your favorite game of Thursday, Friday, and then what's your favorite like potential matchup if you got like a Thursday, Friday, or two games right? What's your favorite kind of round of 32 game you're thinking? Just looking at it, I really like obviously Ohio State TCU. I think that's a little bit of a homer pick. I like North Carolina VCU. I think that's gonna be a really fun game.
Yeah.
I had another. Tennessee, Miami of Ohio. I assuming Miami of Ohio wins it, and then another play in Texas and North Carolina State. The winner of that one to BYU. I think those are probably 4 of my favorite games for the opening Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, as far as the this sounds kind of stupid. But
it's March Madness, man. Nothing you can say can be stupid. Actually, never mind. You can say plenty of stupid things, but it's March Madness schedule-wise. nothing is off limits.
I don't think there's a lot of games that could potentially change how things go trajectory between Friday or Thursday and Friday, and nothing that I'm particularly seeing. Again, this is just my prediction. I'm interested to see if Iowa State can beat Tennessee State. Now, Tennessee State's been hot recently, okay? But here's the thing. Iowa State always seem to underperform in the tournament.
Iowa State and Arizona.
Yeah, and they've just never – and you look at where they are. Tennessee State, sure, that's a winnable game. But can you beat Kentucky, which is probably, it's a good chance it's going to be Kentucky. And can you get over that? And then you do have a decent chance to take on, a team that's a little bit better. But, man, Iowa State just has always seemed to underperform. I'm interested to see how they come out and play. If you asked me a month and a half ago, I would have said the SEC and the Big Ten were probably the best basketball conferences. Now I believe it's the Big 12 and the Big 10. And so I'm interested to see how these Big 12 teams perform. I'm not a big believer in the ACC. I think it's Duke and everyone else. Virginia is their second place team, and a mid-grade Big 10 team hung with them. Not impressed. And I don't think the SEC is what it was either.
Yeah. Just with you and Virginia real quick, my favorite round of 32 matchup is going to be Miami of Ohio versus Wright State.
Ooh, wait, whoa. Hold up.
That's my favorite round of 32 matchup. Yep.
Boy.
That's my favorite round of 32 matchup.
SMU's a pretty decent team, man. They're finally
Miami
starting.
Ohio got screwed. They should not be in a play, and they should be locked in for a Thursday Friday game. They won 31 games in a row. I don't care what anybody has to say. They won 31 games in a row. They are not, and to say that the first four is part of the dance, it's not. You have to earn yourself in, and they shouldn't have to earn themselves in. They should be in regardless. They should. They should not have been one of these play-in teams. It's
Here's
ridiculous.
the thing, though. Here's the thing. They essentially get a home game. Okay.
I don't care. You have to. The fact of the matter is, it's basketball and it could go either way. Ohio State should be in the play-in before Miami, Ohio.
Boy, I disagree with that. Considering Ohio State's been real hot the last couple weeks, if you would have said that,
Miami,
I
Ohio
said that
was
too.
real hot for 31 straight games in a row.
I know, but they're playing like Louisiana State A&M School for Cosmetology.
I do not care.
And I agree.
It's not like
they won their games. They won their games. I know.
If it was Alabama or Duke playing that schedule, I could totally agree. But when you were a mid-major like that, a mid-major like Miami, Ohio, and you do not have the NIL and the recruiting and the this and that to lure the best guys in, and you go out and win like that, it does not matter. That's like saying that the Marion Hardy Presidents going 10-0 in the MOAC isn't impressive because they're 2-3 divisions bigger than every other school that they play in conference. It does not matter. You play
right.
who you have in front of you, and
correct.
You deserve to be in the tournament.
They did do that, but they also lost their first round game to a team that was 500 or so. Here's the thing. I think it's a good situation. They're essentially a home game. Their first round game is a winnable game. They're not playing like a Duke or something like that where it's like they have zero chance. You know what I mean? They're playing another 11 seed team. And I mean, think about it. They could go 1-1. That's a 500 record. I mean, you call it what you want, but and here's the thing. Tennessee, I'm not exactly sold on Tennessee. Do I think Tennessee's going to win whoever that play-on game? Yes. But I could potentially see a Wright State Virginia upset. I'm not impressed with Virginia. Ohio State, when was not playing very well, played with Virginia very tight. So,
you know who's on Wright State? Shelby recent graduate.
That's right.
Alex Prescotter.
What's that? Prescotter. That's right. Yeah, he was.
Prescotter.
So, what's his name? Was it
Prescotter?
Breast Cotter?
Breast cutter, yep.
Breast cutter.
You got me screwed up now. Alex
Bruschetta cutter?
Yep.
He must be delicious. Here's the thing. Is that Mr. Hurley? So here's the thing. That sounds really stupid. But I remember when Ohio State lost. I remember when Ohio State lost to Siena in the tournament game. I'm not saying they're going to beat Duke, but I remember when Ohio State played them, and I'm like, oh, we're not going to lose to them, and so you never know.
2009.
Was it Siena? Yeah.
2009. Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, that was the Thad Matta going in age. So
double overtime. Overtime. Evan Turner, this leading scorer of 25 points. My heart's been broken. It just got brought up today when Dayton beat Ohio State. I believe it was my senior year. It got brought up, and I was like, I feel like a senior. Like watching it on my MacBook, and you just remember Aaron Kraft laying under the basket because that shot didn't go in, and the hoops over him. Oral Roberts, shocked Ohio State because we just couldn't make a three at the end of the game. But that's the beauty of March. I mean, Lehigh
that Oral
and
Roberts
Duke.
team. But if you remember that Oral Roberts team, did they go to the Elite Eight or the Final Four that year?
Sweet 16.
Yeah, okay, they were good. Yeah. They were a pretty good team. So it wasn't like you got beat by a bunch of run-dums.
It wasn't super fluky, but it was a game that Ohio State shouldn't have lost.
Shouldn't have lost.
Duke, Lehigh, Florida Gulf Coast over Michigan State, maybe. St. Peter's, the Peacocks, the Cocks over Kentucky a few years ago.
Lamar beat Duke. Yeah, that's a 15-2.
Yep. UMBC over Virginia, obviously the first time the one's ever gone down.
Things happen.
The second time ever gone down. Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue. Nothing will ever be better than the Cox. The Peacocks and their Sweet 16 run a few years ago. Shout out to the St. Peters and the Cox, the Peacocks.
Okay. Now here's the thing.
Anything else March Madness wise?
Okay, so if we take a couple seconds, the next round of game that could probably happen, because we're not going to be coming back on until we have our Sweet 16.
Yep. BYU Gonzaga. I like that. That's a fun game for me.
Yes. I can also see, the Miami Missouri winner taking on Purdue. Mm-hmm. That's going to dictate the path that Arizona has.
Sure.
I think Arizona can take out Missouri. Missouri has a lot of great 3-point shooters. However, I think Arizona matches up with that. I don't think Arizona matches up with Purdue's post, and Purdue has a lot of experience at guard. So I think Purdue could be a risky matchup for Arizona. So that matchup right there, that's a kind of a scary one for Purdue to see what happens coming out of the gate of that one.
People like Queens. Yeah. I'm saying people like Queens for the upset.
Hey, guess who else beat Queens? There was like a ton of teams I looked up today.
The Kings.
Yeah, right. But they played a tough schedule. They played a couple really good teams. So, yeah. Okay, do you have any 12-5s that you're looking at?
Not really. Akron, it's going to be the only one that I'm really leaning towards. Maybe Northern Iowa over St. John's as much. I've just been praising St. John's. But this year I just don't see it. I just really don't see. We're in the age of NIL right now. We're in the age of the NIL where my bracket is very top heavy. I'm picking very, very few upsets because it just doesn't happen. And when it does, the magic doesn't run as long as it used to.
Correct. I'm looking at High Point in Wisconsin.
That's been a popular one.
Wisconsin is down, and High Point can score they can score the ball. And Wisconsin is not. If you would have said, if this were 2 weeks ago, I would say, Wisconsin's going to kill them. But they're not. They're not so hot right now. So
to finish up the March Madness discussion, then give me 3 or 4 teams that you truly believe are the 3 or 4 top teams to win it. Like we kind of said earlier, like a team like Arizona, a team like Iowa State, they could be really good, but Come March, I don't trust them. A team like UConn, who's just kind of been like up and down all season long, the highs and the lows. Like UConn's a team that I could see winning it. I got UConn in that. I got Duke in that. I'm even gonna go with Florida and Houston. Those are kind of the 4 teams that I really think have the absolute best shot. Maybe a little bit of bias in me as an Ohio State fan versus Michigan, but I told you I don't love Michigan right now. I don't love what they're doing. I don't trust Arizona. I don't trust Iowa State. Shoot, I don't trust Purdue. I think the 1-2 on the left side, the Duke, the UConn, the Florida, and the Houston. Those are my 4 teams that I truly believe will win the championship.
Whoever wins that East-South Final Four matchup is going to win the whole thing. Yep. I mean, between Duke, UConn, Houston, Florida, I mean, that's a freaking loaded side, man. That is a loaded side. It's almost like they should have taken. And here's the thing: you got to remember when they make these things, they're trying to avoid second round matchup with their conferences or teams they've already played. They have to put them in locations if they're a higher part of the seed. And there's a lot of things to consider. Yeah. I don't think they messed up anything. I don't think they left a team out that they should have had in. I don't think they did a bad job this year. It's just, I mean, you don't like the Miami of Ohio, but I think if there's a team, honestly, that I'm not really impressed with at all, I hate Georgia. Georgia sucks. I've watched them a couple times, not been impressed one single bit. That's just me, though.
Yep.
So, okay. Hey, talk 30 seconds here about the World Baseball Classic. Have you
WBC, baby.
Have you seen any of these games?
Yeah, I had on last night. Last night I had on the United States Dominican Republic game, a 2-1 battle to the very end, a strike call that should have been a ball call. Very iffy. Obviously, the United States needed Italy the other day to score 5 runs for them to even qualify because the manager didn't know that they weren't locked in. if you're a baseball fan, like if you're a fan of USA sports, right? Obviously, we just had hockey, and it led to a lot of buzz for Team USA, and this it is good for the sport. Like it really is great for the sport. The championship is going to be tomorrow between the United States and Italy or.
I think they're playing tonight, no, Venezuela.
The championship's tomorrow. Yeah, so the championship's tomorrow, and then MLB opening days in 10 days, and so it's a great way to get people like talking about baseball, interested in it, and I think the pride, like the United States last night took a lot of pride in being Dominican Republic, like somebody was talking, they were talking earlier, like Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Tatis, like. Another fourth like big name in the Major League Baseball right now. Like I'm not a big baseball guy, so I just don't get invested as much. But like when you have that versus your Team USA, a lot of great guys too. Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge. You know, it really gets the conversation going. It gets people excited for their sport, which baseball has. They've been riding high the last few years. Post COVID, it could have pre-COVID. I mean, it could have really tanked with the work stoppage and stuff. And then they've been riding high with the pitch clock. The World Baseball Classic is going to do some really good helping for baseball and what they need.
I would, I don't know if it would be too much, but it's almost like the World Baseball Classic has been everything the All-Star Game is supposed to be. Yeah. Like the All-Star Game is just kind of like, nah, anymore. And so like you have this World Baseball Classic, and it just happens to be during, the biggest time in basketball, but it's like, if you could take that magic and make that the All-Star Game, you know what I mean? That'd just be awesome. But
you want to? Here's how I think this is done. This is my true. I think would be the best way to do the All-Star Game. There's usually a pretty good break between the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals, and the NBA Finals. Do it then. Take 3 days. Do it then. Guys that they got eliminated before the playoffs or early on had the chance to go on their vacation. You got to vote All-Star. Go play in one exhibition game right before the NBA Finals. Obviously, the teams that made it, like if it's Thunder and Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander aren't going to play in that All-Star game. But right. you can do it then, and I think you could have a good pride thing, and then you go in the summer. And God forbid somebody gets hurt. It just happens. I mean. The risk of injury is going to be there whether you play an NBA Finals game or an All-Star game or a pickup game outside or you get in your car. And so that risk of injury, and I think that
here's looking at you, baseball, Larry Bird.
Yeah, baseball is going to capitalize on some really good stuff for a tournament that happens preseason. I mean, and there's a chance that somebody gets hurt and tears an ACLs out for the season, but you just do it when it's something big like that. And maybe basketball needs it at the end of the season. You get a little bit of a break. And then, especially like if you just lost the Western Conference Finals, if you're the Nuggets, you lose to the Thunder in 7. It sucks. Go play one more game, be part of the weekend, and then lead into the NBA Finals and then all the drama that the NBA has in the offseason.
And if you
it used to work for the NFL until it just became what the NFL is right now. But it's not a true All-Star game. It's not.
No, it's not. And it would be cool if you could take like the top 8 teams for baseball. And that the All-Star break would just be like 2 weeks of that, the World Baseball, and just single elimination tournament. Boop, 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 boom. You know what I mean? That'd be something like that. I don't know. It seems like there's something that is just so cool, but again, at the same time, you do too much. Speaking of hockey, by the way, the United States women, men, and a paraplegic, they all won. And by the way, the Blue Jackets are only 1 point behind. What the heck happened? They just turned a new leaf. And then I think the women's hockey are in the Frozen Four. And I think the men just beat the number 1 seed, Michigan State. Hockey's hot right now in Ohio, man. Hockey's hot right now in Ohio. So, and of course in America, USA. 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 All right. So anyways, okay. Is it time for Cameron's conversation piece?
Yeah, man. You've been one of these quick episodes. First off, you want these quick episodes because you're dealing with some other stuff right now. I mean, you live in Tornado Alley right now. I mean, my goodness. Let me see your hands. Let me see. They're made out of wood right now. They're made out of wood right now.
Dude, it is insane.
The winds are howling again, and we've been wrapping up bushels of trees for the last 48 hours. Ain't got
listen,
no power around here.
It's not like Little House on the Prairie.
I've been hand cranking the generator for the last 4 hours just to get to do this podcast tonight with you, my boy.
Here comes Hoss and Little Joe. No, look,
Me and the wife, we've just been outside grinding away for the last 48 hours.
Say grinding away?
Grinding ourselves away to the weather outside.
Wow.
We've been picking up tree limbs and tree stems and bushels of corn all.
No, it's
me and the missus.
I'm actually up to 42 man hours, 42 bundles of sticks, and I'm not even halfway done, man. It's insane. And I showed people at school today. I'm like, look at, because I took videos of it, and they're like, "Oh, that's really bad." I'm like, "Yeah." I had a friend come over yesterday, and he was out back helping me, I could hear the trees creaking, and I'm like, I don't like being over here. I said, let's go to this next meadow and pick up stuff. So we moved over there. No joke. 5 minutes later, right where we were standing, this giant cherry tree just goes, boom! The whole thing falls. I mean, it's, oh my gosh. So I'm like, daggone. It's not been fun, man. It's not been fun. I know what I'm going to do on spring break now.
42 man hours later. We ain't even halfway done.
Sorry, some of us don't live on a postage stamp.
But I picked up sticks yesterday. I went out in my backyard. I picked up sticks everywhere, all right? Too many big sticks. My mower's not going to be able to mulch at all, so I had to pick up some of the sticks. Oh. Yeah, I know. Sorry some of us weren't gifted 175 acres of land.
It's not that much. It's only 42.
All right.
Anyways.
Conversation.
Okay. All right. Best and worst family pet species.
Oh, okay. Growing up, we never really had a dog much. Okay, like just every now and then we get a dog, but just my family dynamic just didn't work with dogs. And I always didn't really love cats. And then I started dating my wife. Right, my wife is a veterinarian. She's a beautiful veterinarian. She does a great job, and she loves animals. She loves animals with all her heart. Right, and she brings in these cats and she brings in these dogs. And when she was a young vet, learning the ways, and they did some early surgeries, she calls me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, there's this one. Its name is Olive, and it's so cute. You should take it home." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to have a dog right now." "Oh, she's so cute, but she can't have her apartment, so you need to take her." And I said no. And so guess what Kelly did? She went and adopted Olive. And guess who lives with me? Olive. And guess who the dumbest, worst dog is on the planet? No discipline at all, no matter what you do, is Olive. All right? And then
I like Olive. What's wrong with Olive?
Take her then. No, she's sweet. She is a sweet, sweet dog. God, she's so annoying. And then Kelly goes and gets one cat. One cat, two cat, three cat, four cat. We have 4 cats. What's the 5th cat? You know what it's like having 5 cats in a house? That you don't want the cats in the house? They're annoying. They get litter all over the place. They have automatic feeders, and I had to get automatic feeders because I was getting tired of waking up at 4 a.m. Oh, God.
Needing the dough.
And so, automatic feeders have been a lifesaver. I used to like the cats, and then we had 5 of them and a kid, and magically, I don't love cats anymore. I don't want cats. I don't want my animals to die, but when they do die, we're not replacing them. You don't replace the dog by getting another dog. When that dog passes away, we're not getting another dog. Lola's a Chihuahua. She's going to live to be 25 years old. So she's going to be crusty as all can be in about 10 more years. And I'm going to want to get rid of her then, too. And then the cats are going to live forever. I just know they're all going to live forever. And when they finally reach all cats go to heaven, we're not replacing them. So the best household animal, okay, is like a goldfish. A goldfish. And the worst are cats and dogs and hamsters and guinea pigs and snakes and all those things. Like the squirrel outside I like. The squirrel that comes into the feeder and eats the food is my favorite household pet, okay? And I love my dogs and I love my cats, but man, we have too many in this house. We have too many.
Do you feel like Ace Ventura Pet Detective?
No, I feel like a friggin' hoarder. I feel like
Ray Finkel.
I feel like Bobby Hurley every time that he's yelling at a ref.
So, okay. In my opinion, All right, the worst pet. We've had a couple pets. I like pets. We've had the fish thing, and when you have a kid, if you have a kid now, but you're gonna find out. Hey, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, Taylor. That your son's gonna want a pet. He just is. Hey, can I have a hamster? Hey, can I have a guinea pig? It teaches him responsibility. Those things. We've had guinea pigs and things like that. We did a goldfish. We had all that stuff. I personally think fish are a waste of time. You can't pet them. Did you take out the fish and pet the fish?
No, my wife has a whole fish tank.
You can't do that. You know why? Because it's a fish, and it needs water, and you can't do anything with it because they're stupid, and they just sit there, and they float around, and they poop, and they swim in their own poop.
Fish need water. Who would have guessed?
I don't like fish. I tell you what, if guinea pigs didn't fling their crap around and go ka-chonk at the water thing all the time, I'd like guinea pigs. But dogs, man, you can't beat that sounds bad when taken out of context. You can't beat a dog. You can beat a dog, but you can't beat a dog. What? Yeah. Is this Ray Rice? Is this a Ray Rice podcast?
Stop.
Sorry.
Stop. Too far.
Too much? But
chill out,
listen.
Michael Vick, chill out, Michael Vick. All right? Stop.
Go Hokies.
It's a good thing it's a good thing we do this at the end of the episode where nobody listens anymore.
Anyways. Okay.
All right. Hey, March Madness, it is finally here. Good luck. Get your brackets in. You get your brackets in. Your wife gets the brackets in. Macy Cameron gets the brackets in.
And
tell
don't
Macy
forget
Cameron
to
get her friends.
Comment what your best and worst pet is. Maybe we missed something.
Yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, quit being a moron. Because only morons like and subscribe.
Make a good decision day and leave a review on our podcast.
Oh, listen, you know what's going to happen. The kid that I have in class is going to be like, Hey, Taylor, hey,
your
over
opinion
here.
Sucks. Cameron's better.
Over here, hey. He's a good kid. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's our biggest fan. He is our biggest supporter, and I feel bad when I don't.
He's our biggest fan, and his name is not Stan.
And he's probably some days he might be our only. He might be our only fan. True.
Okay, that's it.
All right, Jamal, hit it.
Because if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs eat.